Hello, everyone, and welcome to another season 5 of BS Drunk Movie Reviews. This is our first episode. This is a weekly podcast, you guys, and we do upload the video version of this to our YouTube channel, so make sure to check us out there. My name is Matt, and as always, I'm being joined by my sister, Vetta.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Vetta, how you doing?
Good. Excited for season 5.
You know it. And on this episode, okay, so this month our theme is double features. So we're going to do a movie and its remake. And so for this episode, we are going to do White Men Can't Jump, both versions.
Yes. And
Yes.
if you are interested, we did do a full version episode of the original. So if you want an in-depth view of how we feel about that movie, you can go and check out that episode.
Yeah, you can check out that review and everything. We'll leave links and all that good stuff. All right. So Vetta, real quick, I just have to ask you the most important question. What are you drinking tonight?
I went with a good old reliable of rum and coke because I like the double feature, and with rum and cokes, I like a good double, more alcohol than soda. So it works out nice. What are you drinking?
I went back to my old one, wine, but it's only because I like this review came up on me real quick, so I didn't have time to like get a drink together. So I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna do what I got at home, and I have a fuck ton of wine. So I was like, we're just gonna drink this, and if anybody complains, I'll just be like, oh, get out of my face, whatever. It's called BS.
They can always, if they don't like what you're drinking, they can always subscribe to our Patreon and then supply you with beverages.
For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Vetta. So let's get into talking about these two movies. I want to break this sucker down. Which movie did you like better? The 1990s version or the remake?
Oh, for sure, the original.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm sorry, but the 2023 version sucked balls. And I'm talking basketball.
So many problems with it. So many. The simplest of the problems being is, why in remakes do they insist on changing the people's names?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was just weird. Like, it's like, well, we need to make these brand new people. I'm like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. No. It's a remake. You didn't change the name. You didn't call it White Men Can Jump.
Right, no, exactly.
You called it by the exact same name. So therefore, I have so many problems with a lot of that stuff. But yeah. I mean, and I also have a problem with who signs up to do an iconic remake like this. Like, who says, I want to, be in this movie. I want to be, Sydney. Isn't that Sydney was Wesley Snipes' character, and what was the name of
I'm bad with names. Stop it.
I got Gloria was Rosie Perez.
Yeah, which I want to talk about that real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. God dang it! Where are my notes from the original?
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now as we speak. But keep talking.
It's gonna drive me nuts.
Why didn't they just Billy?
I'm kind of like, it just gives us one more thing to hate by changing.
Yeah. Yeah, but one thing that I kind of thought was interesting, but it was stupid because they went nowhere with it, was like, they didn't go nowhere with it, but I liked that the two main characters had a backstory in the remake compared to the original. Like, they kind of had one, but you're all like, okay, whatever.
You mean you like that they spent more time on it in the remake?
Yeah. But at the same time, it for me personally, it just took away from the whole story in general, because they spent way too much time dealing on their trauma, and I'm all like, I don't give a shit about your trauma. Win this game, bitch. Like,
I was like, come on, where's the smack talk and the fighting and the hustling and
the comedy? It was not funny.
There was
not
no
funny.
funny.
I
think they wanted Jack Harlow's character Jeremy, but everybody kept calling him Jarmy.
Oh, right on.
And I was like, I think they thought his character was supposed to be the comic relief, and I was like, he's not.
Yeah, he's not. Nobody was funny in this movie. Like, I was just like completely, I was more annoyed. I'm not going to lie. I watched this movie with our mother, and it was funny to see her response to the whole situation. Cause she's like, 35 minutes in, she goes, listen, this movie is boring and I don't want to watch it anymore. And I was like, well, we have to, Mom, because I have to review it. She's all like, I'm going to get on my phone. And then
and it doesn't matter. You just have a hip replacement, so you can't run away. You gotta watch it.
Exactly. Okay. So I thought it was so like stupid, but at the same time I thought it was funny when they got into the fight with that one guy and he pulled out a flamethrower. I was like, that's kind of funny because it was a Tesla flamethrower, and I was like, that's so interesting. I want one, but they're all sold out.
Yeah, I did like that because the girlfriend was like, or the woman was like, "Ah, shit, I'm getting out of here." He got a flamethrower, and they were like, "Flamethrower," and I thought, I was like, "Is that a name of a type of gun?" No, they meant a legit flamethrower. That was
right
the
on.
only thing that was a little bit funny. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, and also I feel like when it came to the hustle of it, one thing that I liked that Woody Harrelson's character from the original was hustling Wesley Snipes, and then Wesley Snipes hustled him. That never happened in this movie. There was no turnaround with that whole
Yeah, there was no
situation.
backstabbing in this one.
Exactly. And I think that was what brought the drama to the first one, because then they had to work together in that final game. Yep. And in this one, it was just, like I said, getting over their trauma. And I was like, bitch, get over your, I was like, this is why Gen X is the best gen, because they dealt with their trauma by themselves. Like nobody
gives. You faced it head on, and if you couldn't deal with your trauma, you did you
was
weren't
Darwinism.
able to talk about it. You cried about it in the shower, cleaned yourself up, and went on with your day.
Exactly. It was Darwinism. If you couldn't deal with it, the world weeded you out and everything. That's why I like this movie. And I loved how I did like some of the lines. Like I like when the guy was all like, when he was like trying to sell his homemade kombucha, and they're like, I don't want no boo-boo juice. And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't drink that. I don't care how much ginger he put in that shit. I would not drink that at all.
I liked at the end the comment he had after he punches the guy at the game and gets thrown out, and the one guy goes, "Oh, they're gonna kill him in the parking lot," and the one guy goes, "I never been to a white guy funeral."
That's so funny. Yeah,
like, that's pretty good. I did not like Tatiana because
was that
Rosie
the wife?
Perez, that was Jeremy's girlfriend, the dancer.
Okay, yeah.
She was Rosie Perez's character.
Yeah, I didn't like her either. Go ahead.
I didn't like her because I loved the comedy of Rosie Perez and the trying to get on Jeopardy. I wrote, where is the trivia for Jeopardy?
Exactly.
And she's the one that saves them in the end, even though she hates him.
Yeah. It's like she worked for something and then she finally got it, but with his help, but she didn't know it was with his help. Yeah. And I felt like with the dancer, she was all like, oh, I'm making less money. But by the way, do you really make less money as a tour choreographer? I'm all like, than a dance instructor at a studio? I don't know how much these people make.
I think it depends on if it's just like a recreational dance studio or like a professional. We're training these kids for competitions and to go on into a dance career.
I guess so. So I
just tell you this as having kids that dance. Dance is like having a second mortgage. If your children are in dance, it's crazy expensive. If they're at the competition level, it is like taking out a second mortgage. It's
right on. Oh, back to the backstory thing. I did like that they added the father figure in there with the one character. I don't remember his freaking name. I did like him because I was like, oh no, that's good. They added some like, some like kind of drama to the whole thing. But at the same time, I'm just like, it didn't save this movie from its complete.
Didn't the backstory kind of remind you of that? Oh God, I can't remember his name, but it's from the movie Love and Basketball. Where it's the same backstory, where the kid's dad's a professional and everyone's expecting him to live up to his dad, and he doesn't. And I mean, the only thing that's different is in this movie, he gets into a fight and gets arrested for assault. And in Love and Basketball, he tears his ACL in the game. So I kind of go, they didn't really come up with an original backstory. They stole it from another movie.
Yeah, I have to be honest with you. I don't think I saw Love and Basketball because now that you're mentioning it, I was like, I don't remember that movie, but maybe I saw it a million years ago. Who knows?
Good.
Who knows?
Good.
Who knows?
You should watch it. It's good. I like it.
Okay, so wait, real quick, who was your favorite character in this movie?
Oh, God.
Okay, well, I'll tell you mine while you think of yours.
The wife.
Imani?
Yes.
She was my favorite character because I felt like she was the only one that had a good head on her shoulders. Everybody else was just fucking with the clouds and everything. Her
character is the only one that I felt was almost the same because Wesley Snipes' wife had the good head on the shoulders too.
Yeah, but she didn't have like a job. I felt like she was all like, listen, I'm going to do what I got to do to make it. And I'm saving money. And I'm all like, you're working at UPS and you can't even save money, motherfucker. So I'm like, you're just wasting it on stupid basketball games.
And again, I get it wasn't the real UPS driver, but don't UPS drivers make like 90,000 a year? I don't know if that's true, but I thought I read that.
And was it really a big deal for him to take a selfie with some dude? I'm like, me personally, if somebody recognized me and was all like, I want to take a selfie, I'd be like, well, yes, I will. I will take a selfie. You need my autograph too? Like,
I'm the same way. We were at a club and we had a table and all of our, like, we could chipped in with some friends. And this was years ago. And some of the girls went to the bathroom, but a bunch had left. And so it was just me at the table and my husband. And my husband's huge. And so you know how he stands, and he was kind of standing, making sure that nobody tried to like invade our table. And these two guys asked him if he could have a selfie with me. And I'm like, who did they think I was? Because
Janine Garoppolo.
Probably. I do look a lot like her. It happened like, do you remember when I went through that super skinny working out like 2 hours a day?
Yeah, no.
It was during that phase. So I was like, who did I look like at the time? But you're right. They probably just thought I was Janine Garoppolo. Wanted to hear my political satire.
Yeah, I also real quick, I did take a little bit of notes, but I love how at the end of the 2003 one, when he promised Tatiana that he wouldn't lie right before he proposed, I was like, oh, he just lied. He just lied. I was like, that's the first lie every man tells a woman. I will never lie to you. Like,
expect a man to tell you that, because your self-esteem, when you put on a pair of jeans that makes you look fat, you need him to go, baby, you're sexy. I love your ass in those jeans.
Exactly. That's why I was all like, oh, he just lied. He's a liar. I was like, you definitely can't trust him. Also, I'm all like, I love how he was like, once I get this gene therapy, and I'm all like, oh, you just because you heard it from Tony at the gym.
Your drug dealer.
Yeah. I was like, that's not how it works. I'm like, you can't just be like, I'm gonna get these stem cells and everything. I was like, I think you have to like, qualify for that. Yeah, you just can't just be like, and then he was like, it costs like 10 grand. I'm all like, he doesn't know that. I'm pretty sure he made that up. He didn't even Google it, I'm
sure it costs way more than that.
Right, yeah. Although I do have to admit, when they were about to go play the basketball game, and you hear doom 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 doom, I was like, oh, that's that redheaded fat kid. I love that guy. I was like, but yeah, I did like that song when they started playing that song. But yeah, no, this movie sucks. I didn't like it. I don't know about you, but I didn't feel with the remake that there was, like, when they went into that competition, like in the original one, I really felt like there was some real competition, and in the second one, the remake, I didn't feel I was like, you can tell they're going to win because they haven't put them up against anybody that's really formidable. And there was no high stakes, in my opinion. Like, the whole time I was just like, this is boring. It's not a fun.
Because in the original, there were the big names. I don't remember the big names, but like King something and Randy something or whatever.
Yes.
There were big names that they were like, oh, they're gonna be there.
Yeah.
And in this one, you only seen that one other personal trainer guy.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I was just like when they went into it, I was like, oh, they're gonna win, and if they don't win, they're gonna pull it back together later on. And I just go, this kid, what was his name? The black guy. He was all, his trauma was he got into a fight because his dad wasn't at a basketball game, and I'm all like, oh, get over your fucking self. Okay, I'm sorry, but like, listen, people get heckled all the times. You get over it, and you just keep playing your game.
You can't hand it at a high school game. You definitely ain't gonna hear or handle it at the NBA.
Exactly. And I was just like, I've had enough of your big nonsense. I was like,
and I hated how the big surprise, like, fix him was meditation.
I know, right? That was so ridiculous. Although I did like the one guy that was all like, that the gym membership guy was all like, you can't come here for free. And he's all like, I give motivation. He's like, Claire, you look great in that and everything. You're doing a great job. And I'm all like, what? I'm like, that's not how it works. And gym memberships, they are not nice. I'm sorry. Like, if you are late one day, they're like, we've canceled your membership. Get the fuck out. And everything. They are not, they're not having your big bag of bullshit at all.
No.
So this was not reminiscent of today's times. They are just like, they're just like, you're a minute late with your payment. Get the fuck out.
Oh no, they're not even letting you pay them. You are on automatic withdrawal.
Oh, right. That's so true.
They're like, this needs to be on a credit card or your debit because we are getting our money, whether you like it or not. We don't care if you can't pay your mortgage bill. You're paying your fucking gym membership.
Exactly. Especially if they're one of those big chains and everything, like Planet Fitness and shit.
I promise it's only $10 a month.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's so true. They get you. Yeah, it's $10 a month for the first month, and then they start charging you the big dollars. But yeah, I just this, and I didn't. I mean, was the black guy also like? Was he just playing at that gym that he was known for just for fun?
That was his high school gym. Yeah, he was just there. It was like open gym.
Oh, because the whole time I'm all like, at least the white guy's trying to train kids and everything, which they did not put enough emphasis on how good he was before he tore his kneecaps. I don't know what that is, but because they made him sound like he was just so good, and I'm like, is he though? I mean, like, it sounds like all he's good at doing is like, you know, psychotherapy and shit, but in a way that fucks you up while you're playing a game.
Chirping at people during a game. He was pretty good at shit.
Yeah, the whole time I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not getting that he's like the best basketball player in the world.
Do you think this movie would have done better if they just would have branded it as like a second White Men Can't Jump, and then maybe had like that Kamal or Jeremy was the child of one of the two?
I absolutely think that as a sequel, it would have been better to write a sequel than to write a remake. It was just because like, first off, Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson are both still around. You give them a cameo, just throw them, like Wesley Snipes, he's got money issues, so he'll just do it for fun and everything. But Woody Harrelson, just be like, listen, 5 minutes, cameo, you're the dad. You know,
just tell him there's all the weed he can smoke while on the
exactly. Because the whole time I'm like, why wouldn't they just like do this as a sequel? That would have been way better.
Because I thought that like through it, I went, why didn't they make? I could totally see either one of those guys being Wesley Snipes' character or Woody Harrelson's character's kids.
Right.
So my whole thing is, why didn't they just brand it as a sequel and, you know, put the dads in there? Because it could have totally been that Wesley Snipes eventually made it into the NBA as a backup player or something and now had MS. Or they could have, you know, they totally could have made it where, you know, Woody Harrelson and Gloria got back together, or he found a new woman, whatever. They could have done that. I think it would have done so much better.
I agree.
In a remake.
Yeah, it was just, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go for it.
I was just going to say, it was just bad. And it was like, this is the thing. It was boring. It wasn't funny. It wasn't inventive. Like, I just didn't think it was reminiscent of the time. And like you said, like if they would have had the dad character in this movie be Wesley Snipes instead of that guy that they had play him, may he rest in peace, because he's dead now. It would have been way better in my opinion, but they didn't. And I'm all like, and I feel like it also would have been way more impactful when the dad died if he would have been Wesley Snipes. Because I was like, you know, you're bringing closure to this character and everything. It was just not, I don't feel like well thought out.
I don't understand how anyone thought this remake was going to be better or make people happy.
Right.
Everyone loves the original. I don't know anyone that's like, oh, that movie sucks.
Exactly.
It's a good movie. Is it going to win Oscars and things like that? No. But I mean, most the Oscar winning movies suck anyways. So
ain't that the truth, sister?
So I just kind of went, somebody dropped the ball on how this movie was going to be well perceived, and they should have thought about it differently.
Yeah, exactly. I just didn't like it. It was so stupid. It was really, really boring. Or my other thoughts were, is if they did it as a sequel, they could have had it where these two knew each other, and that's how they like connected. Like maybe the like one of them ruined, like maybe the white guy ruined the black guy's chances to make it to the big leagues,
or vice versa. Or maybe the reason his dad missed the game was because he was doing something with Woody Harrelson or something like that. See, there's so much potential. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, you're so right. Okay. Because this movie, like, it just feels like they were just like, we're gonna write a basketball movie and we'll call it White Man Can't Jump because we're unoriginal.
Put a white guy and a black guy playing basketball together. That never happens.
Right on. Okay, can I ask you about Renzo and Speedy? Okay, so I wrote down some stuff because I'm not gonna lie, I love this duo. They didn't make me laugh as much as I wanted to, but I love how Speedy was dating fat white bitches and Renzo just kept eating. I was just like, bitch, do you ever put down whatever it is you're eating? Like, your mouth is full of food every scene I see you in.
And I do have to say, they were better than Wesley Snipes' friends.
I agree, but like I just love how he kept being all like, you fucking fat white bitches and everything. I was like, well, that's usually how it goes.
But then at the end, he was like, can I get me one of those?
Which I just go, that woman was not that attractive. Well, because she had a big ass. I'm like, big.
Yeah, but you don't know what she looked like before he had all the money.
I mean, I guess so, but so at the same time, I go, I'm sorry. You like, your money didn't fix her face. I saw her face. It wasn't that good. And I'm sorry, there was no liposuction because she still had a big belly and a fat ass.
One man's treasure one man's junk is another man's treasure.
No, she had junk in her ass.
And it was his treasure.
Yeah, I guess so. But I'm all like, that's just not my thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a nice butt. I'm more of a boob guy, though. Anyways, okay.
W chasers are out there. They want to give all the love.
That's so true. So I did also like the drug dealer guy at the gym, because he was like, I like that comedian, but he was just like, hey, and he's like, I'm good for it. And he's like, I know you are. And I'm like, but do you know? I don't think he's gonna pay you. I don't
think drug dealers work that way.
They don't work that way.
On a regular
they want payment
at all.
Yeah, they want payment on demand. They're almost as bad as gyms, except they don't do Venmo and shit.
I don't think I can walk up to a drug dealer and go start me a tab.
Yeah, exactly.
That. Like, it's not like they're taking my ID to hold it until I pay my tab.
Right. That's so true. Also, I loved how the one guy, the white guy was all, I don't remember their names. The white guy came across that other white guy that was training another kid to be a good basketball player. And he was all like, what are you doing here? And I'm all like, because it's a freaking gym, stupid. That's how this works. I don't think the
guy said he pays his dues.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that you know how gyms work. Like, right. You pay, you come in, you use the gym. That's how it works. But I did like when Tatiana threw the pills at him and she's like, don't forget your pills. And he opened the door and came back for the pills. I was like, oh, what a bitch move. I was like, beta.
I was like, that's a sign of an addict right there.
That's so true, though. That's so true. Yeah, I also also his scars gross me. I was like, oh, you got scars. I wouldn't fuck around with you. I was like, no, you're gross.
But I don't know how that surgery scars look, but are they centered right in the middle of your kneecap?
Yeah, you know about as much of it as I do, which is nothing. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about this movie except about how bad it is. And we have 9 minutes.
But see, there's also the other thing that I didn't get was at the end, remember, because the whole reason it's called White Men Can't Jump is because Wesley Snipes can't dunk.
Yeah.
And they have the side bet and Woody Harrelson lose his winnings.
Yeah, exactly.
There was nothing like that in this movie.
Yeah, there was no tension, there was no high stakes, and I was waiting for that part in this movie. Yep. And I'm glad that you mentioned it, because when he goes, everybody knows white boys can jump now, and I'm all like, oh, well then why are you calling it White Men Can't Jump? Like, that's no point.
But do they?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know how to jump. Like, well, because he says everybody knows white boys know how to play basketball these days, and I'm like, yeah, but like, then why do you guys call it White Men Can't Jump? Like, it's just so nonsensical, and it's like, you shouldn't have called it White Men Can't Jump. You should have came up with a different.
That's not why it was called White Men Can't Jump. It wasn't because people didn't know white people or white guys couldn't play basketball. It was the whole point of white boys can't dunk. You know what I mean? That was the whole premise of White Men Can't Jump, the original. So even that comment just made no sense. It was like you said, it was like they were all touchy-feely. Oh, I'm going to go to therapy and I'm going to meditate. And oh, look at me. I've overcome my trauma.
Right. And a small piece of me wanted to be all like, just because you like breathe in and breathe out, that's not meditation. As somebody that is a member of transcendental meditation, that's not how it works. You can't just like ooh and everything. There's
it's not just breathing.
Yeah, there's chanting involved and everything, and it's
clearing of the mind.
Exactly. There's a lot more to it than what you would think. So it was very like weird to me, and I didn't like it, but what are you gonna do?
Well, and I felt like every time he did it, it was like a 30-second ordeal. And I did try meditation a while back because my brain doesn't shut off and I have insomnia. It's like a 15-20 minute ordeal, and sometimes longer if you're doing it correctly and you actually are clearing of your mind and all of that. So
right.
I'm like 30 seconds. I mean, it takes you longer to take a dump, and sometimes that's more mind clearing.
Right on. Now, here's the question for you. Did you think it was smart for them to go with the like yoga instructor kind of thing over the like whatever they did in the original? I can't remember what they did, because he would show up and be like, oh, look at, I didn't know they let white guys. And did you think that was clever? And then I have one more comment about the white kid.
No.
What did you think about him? That there was one game where he played a basketball game in like a fucking cardigan, and I was like, what's going on here? Like, what's going on here?
That's the outfit you had a problem with. I had a problem with he was wearing the gloves on his feet the one time. God. Those like bare feet toe shoes. Those freak me out.
It was all weird, and I loved how they went to the same they went to the same restaurant. He went to the same restaurant when he had dinner with his girlfriend as he went to when he proposed, and I was like,
he was wearing the cardigan. I was like, did you wash that?
Exactly. And my whole thing was, I was just like, I was like, can this movie not afford a bigger budget to have a scene in a different restaurant? Which is gross. If you're vegan,
they're
we're not friends.
So there's only so many restaurants, and remember, he's very picky.
In California, no, there isn't. There's plenty. There's so many.
That's what she said.
Well, what she said was stupid because she's stupid. What else was I gonna say to you? Oh, what was with those moon shoes where he was like hopping around? I was like, what are those? I was like, those are worse than Crocs, and I hate Crocs. And I was like, well, I don't know what those are, but they're gross. I would never wear those. I'm
really disturbed with he was training people. Like, if my trainer showed up in Birks and socks, I'd be like, where are your shoes? What's happening here? The only people in the world that should wear Birks with socks are like high school athletes that are just coming out of practice. Those are the only people in my mind. Anyone else who wears socks with Birks better be a 60-year-old dad or grandpa, because it's gross.
Right on. What did you think about the white guys like jokes and like kind of negs at the other players?
When he was chirping other people, I was like, I just kept saying, someone's gonna beat your ass. Right. You're gonna say the wrong thing to the wrong person.
But I like how the one guy had the short shorts and he's like, oh, yo, I can see your dick. And he didn't say that, but I was like, I was like, oh, I can see your dick's talking to me and saying what's up and everything.
That's the one where his girlfriend gave the money to him.
Like, he don't even have $500. And I was like, oh shit. And
then he was like, he said that.
Then he's like, he ain't getting laid tonight. And I was like, that's not.
But he tells her, he's like, you don't deserve that disrespect.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. And then I also like the guy that was wearing the trash bag in the gym, which I'm all like, why are you wearing a trash bag right now? And then he's like, was he talking about his weight during that portion of the program? Because I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And I'm all like,
there is a reason why athletes wear trash bags.
Why would you tell Daddy? Because I don't know.
So it's supposed to, like, runners will do it. Wrestlers will do it. It's supposed to like help you sweat off the weight, I think.
I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think it is either, but I do know that there is a reason, because Bradley Cooper does it in The Silver Lining, remember?
Oh, yeah. That's right. And
then there's there's like some other show where like a wrestler is wearing one because he's trying to make weight.
Right
and
on.
stuff.
Well,
So
we should watch that movie because it's better than this one. You know, I my favorite one was when he negs the guy and he's like, can you hear me? And the guy's like, what'd you say? And he's like, I just want to know if you had special hearing because you're because like because what? And he's like, nothing. And I was like, yeah, you look like an alien right now. It's like you got some big ass ears. Like I thought I had big ears, but you got some big ass ears. They're like huge.
And he makes a comment on, did that hurt your mama when you
Yeah, right. But that was I think that was the same thing. See, oh gosh, the same scene with the flamethrower.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, because the big ear guy's not at the end, but the flamethrower guy is. Maybe it is. Maybe he was sticking up for big ears.
Right.
I don't remember.
And I do have to say, even though this movie wasn't funny, I did like the line also when he was like, when the white guy was telling the black guy, he's like, you could say way more because you could talk way more trash there because you have so much material that I can't even touch. And he's like what? And I'm all like, I wonder if they're gonna go there. I did
like that because every now and then Kamal be like, I know what you want to say. No, what? No, and he's like, come on, say it. You know you want to say it.
Right, right.
No, yeah, I was touch that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we've talked a good chunk of time, but we're gonna move it over to unless you have anything else you want to say about this movie.
No.
Okay, right on.
There's a reason it's free. If you have Hulu, I mean,
right, exactly. Which, by the way, I had to subscribe to Hulu to get this, which was fine because I was going to do it anyways. I was looking up another couple of things, but anyways, yeah, what a waste of time and money this movie was. Okay, so as I was saying, we're going to move over to our questions portion of this and everything. So, what was your question for this movie?
I think this is a rhetorical question. I feel like we've already answered this, but if you had to choose which cast you preferred, now, not even necessarily their performance in this movie, but just in general, which cast would you see any movie in? Would you see the actors in the first one or the remake?
The original. Yeah. Like, this is the thing. I feel like they had a certain charisma about them that I think that these new actors did not have. To me, I felt like the original was just they were professionals. I mean, like no matter what you think about Wesley Snipes now, he's definitely a better actor than anybody in this movie. And the same thing with Woody Harrelson. I love Woody Harrelson.
Oh, me too.
And Rosie Perez and everything. Oh. Everybody in the original movie had way more just talent compared to this new movie. And this new movie, I have to be honest, a lot of people weren't very good at acting. Like it felt like it felt like more like a high production fan film than it did anything else.
Well, and I kind of felt like the characters weren't written well in this second one. Like, I'm not even sure Woody Harrelson could have pulled off the Jeremy character.
I agree. Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's just a way too much love, peace, love, and pixie dust, type of guy.
Yeah, he was very I'm just like he's drinking kombucha and smoking chipuli and stuff.
Who could have pulled off Jeremy?
Tell me.
Ben Stein.
Oh my gosh, that's Bueller. So true. Yeah, Bueller.
He could have been like kombucha.
Detox. Yeah.
Detox,
no. Yeah, the original cast, they were just better. I just feel like they were way more talented and way more engaging. Like, I wanted to know more about these characters, and we only had so much time to get to know them.
Oh, who else they were missing from the new one?
Tell me.
Oh, wait, no. Ask your question. I will. It will be my thing.
Well, I was just saying, I was like, they were way more engaging, and in this one, I just there was way more time, and I just didn't care. I was like, we can wrap this up in 20 minutes, guys, because I just don't care about you. Okay, Lynn, I'm going to get to my question and everything. Okay, so what was a scene that you wish they would have brought over from the first movie that they didn't?
So mine is kind of more of a collective scenes. It's characters. And I'm going to say their names wrong because I can't remember off the top of my head. The Sudoku brothers, whatever, the collectors that took the
Right.
Polaroids of him being dead on the mattress for her
Yeah.
death
Oh
because
my
she bought the
God, I
car.
forgot about them. They were so great in the original. Why didn't they bring them into this one? No. Yeah. It says it's pause.
Got
Pause.
too excited.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah, you got way
Sorry.
too excited. Okay, go ahead.
There was no one in this movie like that. I was like,
Yeah, now that you say that, oh my God, they were great in the original one, and they would have been so much fun in this one. Yeah, you're right. That was a missed opportunity. Wow. Yeah, man. So good.
I
So
mean, how
good.
amazing. They sold her a lemon car. She wouldn't pay for it. They were coming for their money, but they really
Yeah.
weren't bad people. They took fake Polaroids of him
Yeah.
being dead and took their money and left. I mean,
Yeah.
they were great in their little van and
Yeah, no,
everything.
you're right. That was so good. Yeah, no. Now that you say that, I miss those characters. I wish they would have come back for this. But you know what? The writers of this weren't very good, so they didn't understand what they had.
Yeah. What
Okay,
about
so
you?
mine was not like a scene in the last one. It was when Rosie Perez left Woody Harrelson.
Oh,
I felt like that was really great because she was like, "No, I've had enough of your bullshit. You failed me over and over and over again. You have let me down on nonstop, and I feel like I need to let go." And then like he came to the hotel room and she wasn't there. And then
yeah.
the end of the film was just him and Wesley Snipes playing b-ball on the basketball court. And I was like, that's a good ending. This one, no, it was all happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
They won. The girlfriend stuck around and married him, or at least let him be
This
her fiance. And I'm all
this
like,
was totally a millennial film because it was
for
like, you get a
sure.
participation ribbon, you get a
Oh, yeah,
gold
right.
stars for
Exactly.
everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was very like this movie was just very stupid. Like I'm all like, oh, I'm like, this is not indicative of real life. Like, I'm sorry. The first movie was indicative of real life because the girlfriend left, they won their money, but they,
He sacrificed other things in his life for it.
exactly. And I was just like,
So,
this.
do you really think this was really a remake then?
I mean, listen, I'm going to say yes because it was named White Men Can't Jump. You don't get to name your movie White Men Can't Jump and it not get criticized and compared to the original one. If you had not named this White Men Can't Jump, then we wouldn't be able to sit here and compare it and criticize.
I'm going to stick and stand on the hill of and die on the hill of this should have been a sequel. They should have been connected to the original cast somehow and a couple cameos. I think again, I know we drink a lot and we repeat ourselves a lot and my nose is a little numb and I ramble when I've been drinking.
That's
but
totally fine.
Guys, you really need to run this stuff by us.
Do
Hulu, Netflix, everyone's streaming. I know we're just drunken idiots, but we have some, sense here. You're missing opportunities, right? This, I think I had a gold mine on you should have made this a sequel, not a remake.
Yeah, exactly.
You failed.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. I also have thoughts that they could have done to fix this, but they, you know what? We're not Hollywood elite and everything, so you know how it is. Okay, Vetta, I'm gonna ask you one more question, and then we'll get out of here and everything. Would you suggest the remake over the original?
No.
No, yeah, me neither.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way I would say is if you figured out a way that every time Jeremy or Jack Holloway said detox, you turned it into a drinking game and took a shot.
Yeah, but you have to make boo-boo juice. You have to make the boo-boo juice. Yeah.
You have to figure out how to make an alcoholic boo-boo juice.
Yeah, I would. I'm in the same boat as you. I would suggest watching the original. Don't even watch this remake. It's bad. Everything in it is bad. It's just bad and everything. Yep. All right, you guys. Well, that's where we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at BS Drunk Pod to stay updated. If you do listen to us on Apple Podcast or on Spotify or anywhere where you get your podcast needs, please give us a 5-star review. We would really appreciate it so much, and it helps us out so much also. We'll also be posting the video version of this to our YouTube channel, so you can check us out there, and that is at YouTube at BS Drunk Movie Reviews. Also, we have started a Patreon with plenty of different levels to suit everybody and their needs, if that's something that you are interested in. Also, we just want to say the most important thing, don't forget to drink, recap, and review and repeat. Bye, you guys.